Happy International Women's Day, everybody. It's your girl, Nicole Banister, aka NIKKI BANZ, coming to you live from Johannesburg, South Africa. Today I'm interviewing Queen Cora Coleman right here on NIKKI BANZ Live. Hello, 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 you gorgeous people out there, and an especially big hello to all of my ladies. As you all know, today is International Women's Day, so we are doing it big. We've rescheduled the show from the Tuesday onto the Wednesday today because we have a true queen gracing us with her presence here today. And what better day to do it than on International Women's Day today, March 8th. We celebrate the achievements and the accomplishments of women every single day, 365 days a year. But today, especially, you know, we're gonna sprinkle a little extra love for the ladies, all right? So tell your mom, tell your sister, tell your cousin, tell your auntie, tell your best friend that you love them, you appreciate them, that they are absolutely amazing in your life, because today we are celebrating all of the fabulous women out there. Thank you all for rocking with me. I know we normally have the show every Tuesday, but it just seemed like such a special moment to be able to have the interview today on this Wednesday. And Queen Cora and I actually tried to have the interview last week and it didn't work out. And that is A-okay, because truly it was divine timing. It was destiny for us to have the interview today. Okay, y'all? I hope you're all doing amazing. I see that my boy Adil is in the building. I see Afua is in the building. I see my girl Rue is in the building. Hello, Sumaya. Hello, Queen Cora. I see you. I know you're here. We're coming to you, baby girl. So excited. Hello, Magnolia Photography, Benaz, Dr. Socrates, Tiffany Joseph, another beautiful musician and artist in the building. It is an absolute treat to see all of you here. So before I get this party started, let me go through and tell y'all about all the things. If you are not following me on Instagram yet, go ahead and follow me at They Call Me Banz, B-A-N-Z, B-A-N-Z, depending on where you are in the world. And make sure you subscribe to my YouTube channel, okay? Every single interview I've ever done, my TV shows started up, which we're about to start filming season 2. Yes! Okay, all of that is on YouTube. So youtube.com/@Nicole Banister, aka NIKKI BANZ. All right, so go hit up that subscribe on YouTube. What else, y'all? Y'all know that your girl NIKKI BANZ dropped a limited edition postcard series, okay? It's the first merch from the NIKKI BANZ brand. It's a gorgeous set of 11 postcards featuring these beautiful images from all over Cape Town, these gorgeous shots of the beach and the ocean. You know it's called Holy Water because the water is holy. It is healing. All right. So I only have 4 sets left. I only printed 50 sets. I have sold 46 of them. I only have 4 left, okay? If you're interested, DM me. We'll hook you up. You can hit me with the Venmo, the PayPal. We will make it work. EFT, whatever you need. But that postcard set is here. Okay, so we got some more folks joining. We got Justin in the building, who's going to be my awesome guest next week, which I'm super excited about. Justin, what's up? Can't wait to have you on the show very soon. I see Connie is in the building. What's up, girl? It was amazing having lunch with you earlier today. I see that Malika is here and Makaiti. Hello, 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 everybody. All right. I know y'all didn't just come here to hear me talk. I know y'all like the sound of my voice. It's cool. I do too. But I know that y'all are here to hear from the one and only Queen Cora Coleman, okay? Let me tell you about this woman. She is an all-star. She is an artist and a musician, an author, a philanthropist, an entrepreneur. Like, the list goes on and on and on. When I say she is a true queen, she truly is. This is someone who has played the drums for both Prince and Beyonce, literally 2 of the biggest iconic stars of our time. This woman has played with them, worked with them, created beautiful music with them. And not only that, she has taken her success from her music, from her drumming, and launched so many projects, so many campaigns that uplift other women, uplift women of color. I mean, this is truly just a rock star. And I can't even wait to hear about all the amazing things that the awesome Queen Cora Coleman is doing. So, party people, are you ready? It's gonna be Queen NIKKI BANZ, Queen Cora Coleman. We doing the things right here on IG Live. Tell me in the comments, are you ready? Are you ready? Are you ready? Let's get it started. I'm going to bring Queen Cora Coleman on right now. Here we go. Here we go. Here we go. Here we go. Hello.
Hello.
Finally.
It is so good to see you.
Oh my gosh. Likewise, this is so exciting. I'm so glad we finally made this work. I know my mother is glad too.
Shout out to your mom. Amazing. She is amazing.
Oh my goodness gracious. You are so kind. You are so sweet. I don't even think she's tuned in right now, but she's going to tune in soon. She would not miss this. I know that much. Well, honestly, it's a perfect segue talking about my mom, because I always like to start the show by telling people how I know the guests who are on my show. So you and I have never met in person. This is our first time, like, properly speaking. But shout out to Mama Banz for the plug, who's been literally, let me give her the DJ horn. Literally, she has been talking about you. She was like, Nicole, I met this amazing woman. You have to have her on your show. Make it work. She's a superstar. She's worked with superstars. She's doing great things around Texas and beyond. I was like, okay, Mom, okay. Like, okay, let's see. And then I looked you up and I was like, wow, just absolutely incredible. So it is an honor to be speaking with you. Thank you for coming on NIKKI BANZ Live.
My pleasure. Thank you for having me, and just much love to both of your parents. When I met them, they were just like incredible, and they, you know, we hit it off immediately. We connected in Houston, and they were talking about you in the first conversation. So like immediately I was like, okay, this is good. I know, right? I know. But that's wonderful. Like, your parents love what you're doing and they support you. And that's just powerful. Even when you're not there, they're loving and thinking about you. So super shout out. So NIKKI, thank you for having me on the show, and just being an amazing human being and what you're doing around the world, essentially, and how you're inspiring people. It's incredible. So I'm happy, super happy to connect with people that are in alignment like that. We need that. Like, our universe needs that. Our world needs that. So.
Ooh. I'm like, in the first 2 minutes of the interview, you've already said alignment. You've already said the universe. I'm like, here we go. I see the synergy. I know where we're going. Oh my gosh. Well, honestly, I feel the exact same way, and I cannot wait to hear more about all of the incredible things that you're doing. And I think what really makes you so unique is that, you know, it's you're not just an artist. You're not just a musician. Like, you know, obviously there's so many big names that you've worked with. You are so world renowned in the music space, but it's you taking it that step further, leveraging your music career and your success to then give back, to then integrate opportunities and options for people in different communities. You know, that is really, those are exactly the type of people I like to talk to on this show, right? It's like cool. You know, Beyonce, okay, cool. What are you doing with that, right? What's the impact? Okay.
Yeah.
So I'm just like so stoked about this. And I see we have so many people. We got Philly Phil giving you the flames. We've got Will in the Pocket giving the heart, saying Cora, Dana Lee, Matillier, so many dope people. Queen Rosita saying all the beauty on the screen. So shout out to everybody who's here on the live right now. It's amazing to have you all here.
Hey everybody, shout out around the world.
Literally,
thanks for jumping on and supporting.
We are literally international here on NIKKI BANZ Live, which I love. So let's go back to the beginning. Talk to us about your childhood and growing up. And, you know, was music, was art something that you knew you wanted to engage with from the jump, or is that something that happened later in life?
Let's see. So many layers of childhood. That's a good question. So I went to a Montessori day school. I'm going to go way back. And I learned how to play chess, and I learned French. And let's see, my grandparents were community leaders. They were in real estate. And so I grew up around entrepreneurship. I grew up, you know, it was kind of like Grand Central Station at my grandparents' office, and everybody came in for appraisals and for direction, and it was just very, very community oriented. My mother was a diver, you know, and so, you know, even as I look at life later on and I parallel it to the way I was raised, like I was taught to jump. I was taught how to jump. I was taught to jump. You know what I mean? I was taught how to fall. You know, it wasn't about not taking the leap. It was about how to leap and how to recover should the leap not go in the way that intended to land. You know what I mean? So very early on, exposed to strategy very early on, just very competitive, played basketball, volleyball, competitive diving, competitive swimming, tennis, let's see, yeah, all the games, jacks, checkers, 21.
Wow.
I'm the youngest of four growing up, and so I was just observing everything. My brother's the oldest, and I have two sisters in between us. And so I just grew up trying. I grew up trying. I grew up going to family reunions out of state every other year. You know, I grew up where my family was my first stage. You know, y'all get together something before the day is over and y'all get up there and perform. That was family reunion. You know what I mean? Scholarships from the family first. Yeah. So that was, you know, elementary school. My grandmother was a teacher at my elementary school, so it was a collective in trouble. It was a collective punishment on the way home. It was like, you know your grandmother's not happy with this. So those are things that shaped who and how I am very early on. Middle school, it wasn't until really 8th grade that I considered being in the band, but in elementary school I was beating on buckets. I wasn't really thinking about music. I was just tap dancing, I would say, was my introduction to rhythm, jazz dance, ballet. Not really music formally until high school. I did play violin. I did play the recorder in elementary school. You know, everybody played the recorder.
Right.
But those were
even me.
early experience. Up until middle school, you know. So that was like childhood, playing outside, playing in the ditch, playing in the rain, just getting in trouble all the time, taking things apart, putting things back together, you know.
Wow. Wow. I mean, this trajectory and how you're able to connect the dots across, you know, your mom being a diver, teaching you, you know, how to leap, how to fall correctly, knowing that you will fall, but how can you fall and get back up, right? The competitiveness of games and of sports, the family stage and audience that was your first audience, you know, the first people to see you perform before the Super Bowls, before all those things. I mean, that's truly a beautiful thread to be able to connect. Do you feel like the role that your family played while you were younger, is that still a constant in your life today?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Like the family connection, it's really everything for me. And it's even more precious because at this point in my life, I have, you know, my grandparents on my mother's side and my grandparents on my father's side have already transitioned. And my, you know, senior year in high school, my mom transitioned, and it's 6 years since my dad has passed as well. So that infrastructure was very powerful for me, and it's something I still connect to, even though they're not physically here. Like their presence, their lessons, their encouragement, and the examples they set. And not that it was perfect, everything wasn't perfect. So a lot of times people think, oh, you guys had it all together, but there was an intention. The intention was very, very powerful and very imprinting. You know, and so now my siblings and our relationship is very important. My cousins, my first and second cousins and my younger cousins, you know, that relationship means a lot to me.
Mm.
And beyond the stage and beyond all the other stuff, it's like that is what anchors me. And then there's like family outside of the family. So, you know, I have my friends and my sisterhood and my tribe and all of that is just as important to me. And just as you would have thought that we were blood, you know, you would think that,
right.
You know, you have those relationships and it's like, they're there for you and you're there for uninterrupted. It's not insecure. It's very, very solid, 10 toes down. These are my girls. These are my boys. These are my guys. You know what I mean?
Yes.
So,
Yes.
yeah. And being that, you know, there's having it and knowing I can depend on it, but there's also being that family for other people that I care about. That also matters. So definitely important for me.
Wow. And I think being able to say there's your blood family, that you got that rootedness, that grounding from, that anchoring, like you mentioned, and now there's your chosen family who you can also lean on, is so critical and so important. I'm seeing a comment in the chat from Sonia, Smile author, saying Queen Cora is such a beautiful, grounded being, probably due to her family, with a bunch of hearts. I see Jazz Sawyer saying, get up, with a little trophy, a little heart, a little music note. So shout out to all the folks showing all the love here. And I want to ask you about your chosen family, your tribe, as you call them, because I think right now there's so many people who are questioning who their tribe is. There's so many people who are almost trimming and making that circle even tighter, because the reality of the world that we live in today is that, you know, we have to move a little bit quieter to be able to do the things that we do. And that's why it's so much more critical to have that tribe, to have that chosen family. How have you been able to discern over the years, as your success has grown, as your career, as your person has grown in the public eye? How have you been able to discern, this person is really my tribe, this person really has my back, versus the people who you are not aligned with anymore?
That's good. Some of it is time. It definitely takes courage to develop your tribe, because you have to be vulnerable. You have to be patient. You have to be open to communicate. And time has definitely been a factor. You know, I could say Coco, my line sister, Verna, like some of my girls from Howard that have been in my life, and we've been through some things. So like, you know, when my mom passed, like Adora was my first friend when I got to Howard, and it was just about being there, and she's been there, and I'm the godmother of her children, and you know, there. And it's been mutual, you know, and it's been honest, you know. And so when people can kind of tell you about yourself in a gentle way, you know, and you know they're not out to tear you down, and you know they really do have your best interest at heart, then you have to take a step back, take a seat, and say, you know, they really care about me. Now, there are other people that you'll find out later, like, oh, these people are talking about me behind my back. And, you know, someone was just, you know, clear enough within their journey to come back and say, hey, you know, about this person, I know it appears to be a way, but just be mindful and not engaged with the conversation, or they've just shut it down like, hey, that's not what we're doing. So you might want to adjust your presentation. But some of it has just come over time, and also being secure with knowing that I'm very present in spaces that I've been. So I was present in high school, I was present with those spaces, and I have a handful of friends that I've maintained relationship with, like a finger full of friends, you know. And it's that the other people weren't as great or aren't as awesome or whatever, but they just didn't continue to walk the path. And then I have some friends that every now and then we come back and revisit. We dense experience that we're very clear about the essence of who we are, you know, and then life is happening, and maybe their parents or maybe their they're a wife now or they're a husband now or whatever the case may be. And so life is requiring more of them and less of the time that we had. But so clear about what it is that we have and that we created, then we always just like pick up right back where we left, we pick up where we left off. And, so it's that. And it's also knowing, like being able to apologize, feel, and say, oh, it was me. It wasn't you.
Right.
Or we just needed to circle back around. That's not what I meant. Okay, got it. And so we're able to still be there. So those things have been significant, and just maintaining that and cultivating that, and even saying, let me call them. Let me check. Let me see where they are. And then let me not just, because sometimes I can be in a space where I'm helping more than I'm receiving. So it's also to be able to let my guard down and say, okay, I can trust them with me. I can trust them with me. And then they can also help wherever I am and give me perspective. So it's all of that,
Yes, I know. And thank you so much for sharing that, Cora, because I think these are the types of hard decisions and hard thoughts that people need to have about their friends and about the people closest to them. Can you be vulnerable with them? Can you check them every now and again? And they can also check you, tell you that, this thing hurt or this thing wasn't right. Have they stood the test of time, and you still have similar values and you're on the same, trajectory? Those are all, I think, really important things to consider. Especially in a world where there's a lot of talk, there's a lot of stuff happening. There's a lot going on social media. There's a lot going on in real life. And I think being able to discern who those people are is so important. And you just put that so beautifully about how you're able to sort of find, identify, keep, maintain the tribe over time. So thank you. Thank you for sharing that.
Yeah, definitely. And it's not always easy, again, and just knowing, like, there's some people that you'll be able to grow with. There are some people that will be able to grow with you and celebrate your journey. Like, girl, Nikki, you got your show. Congratulations. And what else? And what else? And what else are you doing? Versus, like, as you're growing, you feel like they're in competition with you. I think there's being inspired, by your friends. But it's also good for you to be able to celebrate sincerely where they are, and celebrate and be celebrated, the things that kind of over time, you're like, I notice every time I say this, they kind of try to one up me a little bit, or, and it's not necessary. Like, I know that the natural state of being is abundance. The natural being is abundance. Like, if I look outside, I'm like, there's so many blades of grass, and there's so many leaves on the trees, and there's so many clouds, and there's so many pines just on that one pine tree,
Yes.
Like,
Yes.
And so, because there's enough room for everybody, it's okay to be secure about everybody doing what works for them.
Exactly. Exactly.
Oh,
Cora. You're literally giving me chills right now with this talk about abundance, because that is such a beautiful state of being to exist in a state of abundance, seeing everything as abundant. I similarly look at things and I'm like, I'm so excited for everything. I'm excited for this conversation. I'm excited for this water I'm drinking. I'm excited for these nails. Like, I'm excited about everything. Like, I'm just excited, right? And some people do not move through the world like that. So let's talk about that abundance mindset, because I know that is hard work to get to that point, to get to that state. Talk to us about some of your journey to living life abundantly, and sort of what would you say to folks who maybe are trying to get there but haven't gotten there yet?
Got it. Yeah. Gratitude is everything. Gratitude, like, I try to let gratitude be my default, and just let it outnumber all of my other emotions. Like, no matter what, I'm appreciative of the moment. I'm appreciative of the exchange, and I'm appreciative of the lessons. Life is happening with me. It's not to me. I'm not a victim to the experiences. I'm making choices, and those choices have byproducts, you know, happening around me, and it's happening with me though. You know what I mean? And so there's plenty, and I think the way that I maintain that space is just I appreciate everything that's happening. You know, I appreciate it ever long. Like I've had enough people that I care about transition, you know, and so whatever, because we're on this side of breath, and you know, it's like I wake up and I'm like, man, it's a good day to be alive.
Right. Right.
It's a good day to be alive. And before I get out of the bed, you know, my cells have already been in motion. Before I get out of the bed, my blood is running. You know, I have vision, I have breath, I can smell, I can hear, I can see, you know, I have thoughts, and those thoughts are doing things, and that's amazing, you know. And if I go to the restroom, I'm excited that I'm going to the restroom. There are people that get up and they need someone to help them go to the restroom. You know what I mean? They need someone to help them get out of the bed. So out the gate, I'm there, you know, like I'm there. And so everything else that unfolds during the day, you know, I aim to make my long-term goals rule my short-term decisions. It's like something, my long-term goals rule my short-term decisions. And so as long as it's aligning with what I love to be, where I'd love to go, people that I want to engage, the person I want to be, as long as it's aligning with that, then there's plenty. You know? So that's like how I'm starting the day. And so whatever's unfolding, it flows in that water. It flows in that, you know. And yeah, I mean that's part of what shapes. I'm always reading something, I'm listening to something, I'm talking to people that just help me remember abundance. And it's not, I even have a mantra that I listen to daily, but it's not again about it being everything that I want it to be, you know. But there's abundance, quality of life, there's abundance, travel, like I get to go here, or the abundance of I get to be at home.
Right.
You know?
Exactly.
Yeah, it's everywhere. Everywhere, you know.
I think what you shared about waking up first thing in the morning and just automatically having that mindset of like, I'm just grateful that there is breath flowing through my body, that I can get myself up out of this bed, that I can go to the bathroom, like literally just starting off the day with that gratitude attitude, with that abundance mindset. You know, I would encourage everyone who's watching this here on IG Live, everyone who's watching this on YouTube, is that the way that you wake up in the morning? When you wake up in the morning, do you wake up and say, wow, I am just grateful for this life, for this energy, for this air that I'm breathing? Or are you waking up like, damn, I'm tired, I don't want to go to work today? You know, like literally, like how you wake up, how you show up for yourself will determine how your day goes, how your life goes. And you, Queen Cora, are a shining example of that.
Thank you. You know, and I'll share another thing. So I started this podcast with my financial advisor and friend earlier this year called Insight Saturdays, right?
Okay.
And so we were just conversations, and we'd be like, man, more people need to think like this. More people need to hear this, right?
Yeah.
And so there were things that I was doing that I started with Mumu Fresh, one of my best friends, and she would do this gratitude. We would do these gratitude walks in the morning. Wow. So wherever we're traveling, we call each other, hey girl, what you doing? Can you walk? Let's walk. And we'd walk and we'd say, thank you for this day, and thank you for clarity, and thank you for the drama, and thank you for the trauma, and thank you that I'm more clear today than I was yesterday. So it was that. And then then it was like, okay, well, let me set it 3 times a day. So 6 o'clock in the morning, 12 o'clock or 6 o'clock, and have these gratitude reminders, literally like the phone going off saying gratitude, and stop. So I hit snooze on the phone, and for 9 minutes I would journal. Where
Wow.
journal for 9 minutes. Gratitude. Or if I can't journal, then I'd stop and say, hey, not take a meeting at 12, not take a meeting at 6, not take a meeting at 6 p.m. And say, okay, let me just give thanks. And then through the inside sound, like suppose every hour, you just set the timer every hour to go off. And you just, you breathe, deep breath for 1 minute, in and out. Then it was like, okay, let me hydrate. So it's like this self-care default. And if you're taking care of yourself, then it's so much easier to take care of other people and all of that. Or if you stop every hour and you just say, for 1 minute every hour, let me just breathe. Let me self, whatever's going on. If it's good, let me just bask in, man, this is great. Let me just breathe in this. Good. If it's contrasting, as Abraham Hicks would say, then let me take a moment to just breathe through it, And those kind of rhythms, within the whole of your life and your day and your week, it takes things to a different level. It allows you to process life. It allows me to process life, in a different way where everything is enough. It's like we'll keep expanding because it's abundant and we have the option to. An oak tree can continue to grow, flowers can continue to bloom. It's all of that, but it's also enough as is. Like you're enough, we're enough as is, and then we keep growing because that is the nature of who we are.
Cora, spitting bars, dropping gems for us here on NIKKI BANZ Live. Hold up. I mean, it's so simple, but it's so powerful. Set an alarm on your phone once an hour. Take a deep breath in. Drink some water. Take stock. Write in your journal what you're grateful for. These are not difficult things to do. You could be the busiest person in the world. You could be prepping to perform at the Super Bowl with Beyonce, which is something you have done, Queen. And literally, you can take a second. You can take a minute to take that deep breath, take a sip of water, journal, think about what you're grateful for in that moment. I see my girl Dana today saying, I need to do that, with some laughing faces. Yes, Dana, you need to do that, all right?
Yeah.
And I see we got Demaxi on here with the claps. I see we've got Fresland saying fascinating. So, I just think these are just like, it's so important to have these little reminders of things that can really just elevate your life and just elevate your constant status of gratitude and abundance. And it doesn't have to be this deep, intense, hard thing. It can really be that simple, just taking stock on a day-to-day basis. And again, having a constant practice like this is hard work, right? Like I know that you are living in this state of abundance right now and love and light because of the hard work that you have put in to get to that point. So I think let's not forget that, because it can be difficult for folks to really take time and say, this is something I need for me. This is something that's going to elevate me into the highest version of myself. So I'm so glad that you shared that and reminded us all of that here today, Cora. Yeah. So thank you.
Yeah.
And I want to know, you live this life of gratitude, you live this life of abundance, and in that you have been able to work with and collaborate with some of the biggest, baddest names out there, right? Obviously Beyonce and Prince, just two legends, two icons, Dave Chappelle, Pink, just all sorts of incredible people. Talk to us about what you learned and what you took from being in those spaces with those sorts of people.
Mm-hmm. Be your full self, be unapologetic to you. What I've learned in working with them is we know them and we see them and we appreciate them because they chose them.
Yeah. Yes.
So
yes.
Like we agree with them choosing them and them honing their craft. Dave honing his skills as an orator and intellect advocate. You know what I mean? Pink absorbing and embodying her athleticism and her musicianship and her creativity and her intellect. Prince, for me, definitely one of the greatest influences on just being all of you. You know, sometimes people say, you know, you're doing the most, you know, but when you keep company with people that are not doing the most, but doing the fullest of themselves, being the highest expression of themselves, and it's not that big of a deal, you know, to be multifaceted. It's not that big of a deal. It's like, just be excellent. You know, it's given me permission to try more. Like, my family set that in place, my grandparents, my great-grandparents, my ancestors. You know, you being in Johannesburg, when we talk about women's history as queens and kings, and we talk about royalty, like those things genetically were set in motion, you know? And so they are expressions of that in modern time that we relate to. But Prince as royalty, you know, setting the stage, setting colors that we associate. You think of purple, you think of Prince. You think, you know what I mean? There's certain phrases you can say, and you're like, I woke up like this, I woke up like this. You know, like, where you're literally changing vocabulary and ways of life and ways of being, because they chose to be all of themselves and set that emotion. So it's been inspiring. It's been incredible. It's been life-changing. It's been infrastructural. And at one point in life, I was just like, so much was happening. I'd done 2 Super Bowls before I was 30, and it was so momentous that I used to think, like, okay, maybe I'm gonna pass away early or something. I don't know, like, because it was like so much. And then I said, or this is a heck of an infrastructure. And so progressively, I started saying, okay, this is infrastructure, you know, and also recognizing that I could only get from one space to another by transitioning, by being water. As you're drinking water, by being water. And being of water, which is, sometimes I'm water and I'm in flow. Sometimes I'm ice, which is another expression of water, and I'm anchored, I'm dense, you know, so theme, and I'm in the lightest expression of myself. I'm still here, but I'm moving. You know what I mean? I'm moving. And so even as, you know, like I couldn't have worked with Beyonce unless I shifted from working with Prince, right? So it's also what, you know, who Prince was earlier on in his career as a teenager, you know, where someone would say, stick with this record label, or go with that record label and sign that deal and go with it. And he felt like, as great as this deal may be, it's not supporting the whole of me. You know what I mean? And so what I learned working with these different artists and creatives, and, you know, India.Arie, and I mean, Felicia Rashad, and Shantae Moore, Mumu Fresh, go down the list, right? Being on Black Girls Rock and being able to work with Mary J. Blige and a host of people, and saying, okay, what is it that makes them them? You know, and what can I glean from that space? If it's for a moment, if it's for a TV show, if it's for the Billboard Awards, if it's for whatever, Jay Leno, whatever. What can I glean? And it's like, be you. Follow your path, and be in time. Be time. You know what I mean? No, it's time to shift. You know, sorry about going, jump in, you know. But also what I learned from it is knowing, like, when it's time to be present, when it's time to withdraw, you know, when it's time to pivot, when it's time to expand, and when, you know, all of that is about timing. you know, and we're all still figuring it out,
Right.
you know. So even at this aspects, you know, some of the experiences are, it's a greater experience on the way than the actual experience. Like there was more happening on the way to the Super Bowl than the 11 minutes on the stage.
Right.
The 12 minutes on, it was dynamic, it was powerful. It still lives on, but the preparation, like Indy Irie says, life is a journey, not a destination. The destination is the continued journey, you know? It's those that I've pulled from working with Zucchero, and you know, just the list of artists, Zach Hartman and Philip Church and Guapole. I just, you know, Frank McComb, and it's in the list. Sometimes I'm like, I gotta go back and look at the list, you know. But
I mean, honestly, all these names, I'm like, whoa, let me just bow down. We know you're the queen. Let me just take a bow real quick.
yeah, I mean, but it's been so many lessons and just such an incredible journey, you know, to spend time and share space and energy and exchange and deposit
Yes.
the draw. Yeah.
Honestly, Cora, there's so many things that you shared right now that resonate so deeply with me. Your water references and flowing, whether it be, you know, just water in this state, in the liquid state, or steam or ice, and what that means and how that's relevant. What you said about, you know, people talking about Prince and saying, you know, oh, he's doing the most, but actually you saying he's not doing the most, he's living to the fullest. I think that is something that, like, I'm about to go write it. I'm about to go journal about that after this interview, right? Like, what would it look like if I was living to the fullest, not doing the most, actually living to my fullest passion, my fullest capacity? What would that actually look like? What magic would be made in this world, you know? And that's something that is so powerful. And I think something that we don't talk about enough. And even the timing element, right? And I think the key there is that the timing is your time, right? I was literally talking to somebody about this earlier today. I was literally saying, you know, we were literally talking about how it's not the time that other people think. It's not sign this contract right now with this big label because they think it's time. You need to assess and know your own time, right? What is your time? Is it your time for this? Is this it? If it's not, then that's okay. And you can keep moving, and you can mute all the noise around you from people who say that this is your time, this is your thing. And actually, you know, in your heart, you know yourself so deeply, so fully,
Yeah.
you know, that you're living yourself, being yourself, like you were talking about, that you can then say, actually, this is not my time. And when it is, I'll say yes. When it is, I'll sign. But right now, it's not. I mean, that's powerful.
Yeah. Yeah. It's challenging because, you know, social media and where we are with technology and the speed at which things are moving makes you feel like you're behind, or it makes you feel like they're doing that and I should be doing this. And I'm not where I'm supposed to be. And creating those like polyrhythms of, again, self-assessment, journaling, your circle of accountability. Those are the things that, you know, help release the anxiety or release the tension of not enoughness, or the comparison, where out because you feel like it's not enough. You feel like you're not where you should be. And instead you're like exactly in your divine space, in its highest expression. There's not even need for regret, Nikki. You know, it's just like I came to the point where I'm like, I did the best that I could a week ago, a year ago, a month ago, 15 years ago, with who I knew myself to be, the resources that I had, and I can't go back and do anything but pull the nutrients from that.
Exactly. You know? Exactly. And they are nutrients because you were planting seeds. You were planting seeds. You were watering them with that holy water. And they have now grown. They have now blossomed.
Yeah.
And today you're planting more seeds that will blossom in a month, a year, 10 years. And that cycle is so cyclical, and it keeps happening. And again, it's not on anybody else's time but your own.
Right. Right.
Mm.
Yeah. And if you're in there, if you hang out in that space, it's so much fun.
Yeah.
I mean that there are moments that you question, moments where you don't get nervous, and moments, but those are the things that just help anchor you back. You know what? Shoot, let me go pray. Like maybe I'm being too confident. Let me go back to my list.
Yeah.
Let me go back and check and see, is this what I said? Or let me go back and see if this decision is going to trump this decision, because it's actually in better alignment with, where I said I wanted to be, or who I said I wanted to be, or what I said I wanted to do,
Yes.
But it's huge. It's huge. Even say no, like, go ahead. What are you about to say? Sorry, if I catch you.
No. I'm just agreeing with you that timing is everything.
Yeah.
And I have so many goosebumps from everything we're talking about. To be honest, I'm looking at the time. I'm like, we only got 10 minutes left. I'm like, oh no, I need 10 more hours. Okay. Truly, this conversation is phenomenal, and I could have this conversation all day. Anybody who's watching this right now, I will be uploading this conversation onto my Instagram, so go follow me at They Call Me Banz. This will also be on my YouTube channel, okay? youtube.com/@Nicole Banister, aka Nikki Banz. But you can't just follow me, you gotta follow the queen as well, Queen Cora. Literally, go to the top of your screen right now. There's a little white arrow at the top. Click on that. You can follow me, They Call Me Banz. You can follow Cora at Queen Cora. Just go do it right now. Just get involved, because this is a conversation that needs to be had time and time again. It's one that clearly the two of us will continue having on major platforms, because this is just speaking truth to power right now in this moment. So in these last 10 minutes, I do want to talk about, we've talked so much about following your truth, knowing who you are, this beautiful accountability circle, and this circle of people around you. We've talked about just living to your fullest capacity. And I think you do that in so many ways, even beyond just the music and beyond the artistry. You are a super successful entrepreneur. You have a number of different companies and businesses, and you not just, open any kind of little old business, right? You're actually doing major projects and things that really sort of dive deep into the communities that you care about and try and uplift and bring people up. So Cora, talk to us a little bit about some of these businesses, some of these projects that you have going on right now, just so that the rest of us can even start to think about what we could be dreaming about, what we could be doing, beyond just our title as TV show host, as drummer, as whatever. Like, give us some inspo based on all of the amazing businesses that you have got going on right now.
Okay, so I have the Vivo Club Incorporated, which is music production, music entertainment, publishing. So I've helped 13 people publish books through Vivo Publishing. I care about words. I love information. So I'm always, sort of packaging that. And some of my businesses basically started because I was just helping people. And I felt like, let's further infrastructure so I can help people better and not feel like all over the place. So Vivo Club is the umbrella for Vivo Publishing, Vivo Production, and Vivo Entertainment. So that's live events, that's television, radio, film, placement music, development music, mentorship, and that sort of thing. Okay, then I started a shipping container construction and development company called Building Simple Incorporated.
Right.
And so I take shipping containers and I make houses and offices. So each entity has a team. And so I have a project that I'm doing in Delaware, Wilmington, Delaware, that is actually my first commercial development, and it's for the United Methodist Church. There are 2 distribution centers to help the community, basically. And so that's that. And then it's going to also include a bodega and some other bodegas, made of shipping containers for some of the other churches in that region. So I'm excited about that. I have a residential project in the Houston area. And so there's building a couple other projects that I'm doing. I launched an international Royal Music and Art Festival, which is a company, but it's also a festival that I started in 2021 as, during the pandemic. I'm a part of a couple organizations, I'll mention that. But we in the entertainment industry were like, okay, when things open up? And I kept feeling like, well, who decides what that looks and feels like? And let's create a platform. So I literally went from what was supposed to be on a 5-acre property to a 30. Because of contrast, it ended up being on a 32-acre property. I had in probably 4 months, I had logistics team come from LA and Alabama, and Jersey, and people in DC, and all these people came together, 2,500 people, 70 vendors. I got congressional recognition, and we had music. I had 7 different pavilions, art, film, fashion. I think I had 30 designers. So it was that. So that's an entity, but it's also, community outreach, experience. So there's that. I have another holding company for real estate. I have another nonprofit that I created called the Universal Royal Group. And it's about health, wellness, music, the arts, humanities, and that sort of thing. So that's a give back, which I've done some give back in Johannesburg with the National School of the Arts. Another school, the Miyagi School of the Arts in Soweto. So there's sending instruments, they're sending scholarship. I have an unapologetically excellent scholarship at the National School of the Arts in Joburg. Wow. And so it's, giving back. I do a lot with Howard University. I'm always giving back. I'm a board member of the National Black Musicians Coalition. I serve on the President's Task Force of the HBCU, National Band and Orchestra Directors Consortium. I serve on the advisory board for Texas Southern University School of Communications. Just recently, Felicia Rashad, she is the dean of the Chadwick A. Boseman College of Fine Arts at Howard University. And so I've been asked to serve on the advisory, it's the board of visitors. It's the advisory board, another board. And so it's always this give back. So within the formal corporations, there's always, for me, it's always a need to give back to the youth. There's always an interest to just help people that maybe they didn't have certain information coming up, but they're adults and they still don't know. And so we have to help us know for us to be, better, So those are like businesses that have created within music. I'm a DJ, I'm a drummer, I have my own orchestras. I'm an orchestra leader. I compose. I'm just, it's that. It's all of that.
I mean, can I just hold on? I'm like, all hail the queen, because I'm just like, the boards, the businesses, shipping containers, scholarships in Johannesburg and in the United States. I mean, it's just such a shining example of Black excellence. I know we're on the heels of Black History Month in the United States, which is all day, every day for us as people of color. Today is International Women's Day. So to have you here on Nikki Banz Live, literally unapologetically saying, I am on the board of this, I started this company, I do this. Like, yes, exactly that. You must just tell the people. You must live your fullest self and your fullest life. And it's just so inspiring and so motivating to see you be able to step into your purpose and your power so authentically, so beautifully, and to just share that with the world, because you never know who's watching this. You never know who's going to listen to your story and be like, wow, if Cora can do it, maybe I can do it too. Even me, Nikki Banz, I'm sitting here like, hey, if Cora can do it, I can do it. Okay, I'm next, right? And that's beautiful. So thank you, Cora. Absolutely. Thank you for everything you do, all the things.
Thank you. Thank you. Thanks for having me. me. Thanks for allowing me the platform to share and just encourage people to be their full selves, you know, no matter where they are in their journey, you know, no matter what the upbeats and downbeats life may have to offer, just go for it. It might not all happen at the same time. You know, you might sow a seed and can't yell at it to grow. It's got to sit in the darkness and be cultivated and germinate. And then you know, put some light on it and keep affirming it and reminding it, and then come back to it and it buds. And, you know, it's just that. And that's what I feel like I've done. And each time I, you know, take the step towards that, more happens, and I create the more, and just keep moving. And, you know, so I applaud you for what you're doing and the difference that you're making in the lives of other people. It's huge. We need it. We need it.
Thank you. Thank you so much. And keep inspiring, keep shining, keep living your most unapologetic life, because as women, as people of color, we need these sorts of role models like you to remind us that we are so much greater than even our wildest dreams and imaginations, you know? And so it's just been such a pleasure. And Cora, before we sign off here, please tell everyone how they can find you online, how they can support you, like drop all the handles, give us all the plugs, because we're trying to stay involved forever and ever.
Absolutely. Everything is I Am Queen Cora. So you can go to my website, www.iamqueencora.com. You can follow me on Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn, I Am Queen Cora. You can get royal wear. You can get sessions with me if you want consultations, if you want drum lessons, if you need a DJ, if you need live events, orchestra, whatever it is, go to I Am Queen Cora and stay connected. I look forward to connecting with you and staying connected with you. We're going to be on and off the record, NIKKI BANZ. Stay in communication. So,
literally, I already know. What'd you say?
I'm going to have to come out to Joburg and hang with you.
You know what? Come through. Joburg, Houston, I don't even know. Zanzibar, I don't know. We're gonna find each other somewhere in this big, beautiful world. And truly, Cora, thank you so much for coming on NIKKI BANZ Live. This is just the beginning of our relationship. We will continue to collaborate in big, bold, beautiful ways. I see that. So once again, shout out to Mama and Papa Bands who made this beautiful introduction. And just shout out to you, Cora. You are just an absolute legend. It is a blessing to have you here to share this wisdom. Like I said, everybody, this interview is going up onto my Instagram at They Call Me Bands immediately, right now. It's going up. I'm about to post it right now, and then it's going to be up on YouTube in a couple of weeks. So please continue to follow the conversation. Cora, thank you so much.
Absolutely. My pleasure. Blessings.
Mwah. Thank you, everybody. This is Tuesdays with NIKKI BANZ Live. I know it's Wednesday today for Women's Day, but we do this every single Tuesday. I am here with the one and only Queen Cora Coleman, and I will see you next Tuesday for another amazing interview with another amazing guest. Thank you, Cora. Thank you all. We'll see you next time right here on NIKKI BANZ Live. Bye.